Trump's tariffs, are they a hidden threat for UK property investors, or are there some glimmers of opportunity? To discuss all that and a lot more, I'm joined by my good friend John Howard. John, how are you doing?
I'm very well, but I'm rather concerned, Ranjan. You don't seem to have a collar on your shirt.
It's the style these days.
Is it?
It's
right.
the style. And I am noticing that you seem to have switched allegiances post-election. Isn't that a reform-coloured tie?
Do you know what? It is, Ranjan, but do not read anything into that, please. Do not start a rumour like that, because I am actually applying to be the candidate for the Conservatives for the combined authorities of Norfolk and Suffolk. So please do not mention that.
Well, what do our viewers think? Let us know in the comments below. Is
it suits
John
me. Do you think it suits
casting his net for a reform invitation? But anyway, on to tariffs. I mean, it's as though things couldn't really get any worse. I mean, UK business confidence is at a 2-year low, according to many reports. They constantly have undermined growth estimates. I mean, growth is flatline. I mean, I know they say it's hopping up and down a little bit.
Who cares?
Along the bottom every.
It's like the property market, isn't it? They say, it went up. It's gone up 0.1% this month or something. Yeah, who cares? Unless it's 5% plus, it's irrelevant.
And then on top of that, Trump comes along. I mean, despite Starmer sucking up to Trump and Vance in the White House.
Wasn't that embarrassing?
With his letter of invitation.
Oh, please.
I've got an invite for you.
Kept touching him, didn't he?
Despite all of that, we got some tariffs.
You start touching me, I'll be concerned. I mean, Trumpy didn't seem to care, did he?
But, okay, it's not as bad as say, the EU. He doesn't like the EU. He's given us less tariffs. But what does that mean? What do you think it means for us as UK property investors? Are we stuffed?
I don't think we're stuffed by any means. I think the UK property market is quite unique in as much that we have literally hundreds of lending institutions who lend on UK property, up to 90%. And if you believe Angela Rayner, she's going to bring a guaranteed 95% mortgage out. Well, we haven't seen that yet. The Tories tried to do that.
Is she personally guaranteeing it? Is she giving
well, she has made a bit of money on that second home she had, which she didn't pay any tax on. But we're not going to go there. We've done that. We're over it. We're over it. So, I mean, inflation is the biggest issue, I think, for the UK in terms of what Trump is doing. Clearly, Europe are going to be much worse off, which I think, for the ones who voted Brexit. I think we haven't made as much of Brexit as we should have done. Whichever way you voted, we've done it, and we need to make the most of it. And I think this gives us an opportunity with Europe to negotiate. If they're going to have 25% tariffs on things, we're going to have none or 10% or whatever it might be. You might get companies coming into the UK to manufacture in the UK to sell to America. So,
really?
Yeah.
Without energy costs 4 times higher than...
Well, that needs to be dealt with, but I think you'll find he'll be gone soon. He won't last, will he? What's his name?
Oh, Miliband.
He's an intelligent fool. He won't be there much longer.
That's going to take some time. I mean, I think manufacturing in the UK... I mean, the problem is we don't make anything. So I'm not sure what these...
But they don't need to probably make anything, because they can just ship it to here and then we ship it straight to America from.
I think they've got rules about that.
Well, rules can be flexible sometimes.
But the stuff we do make, like cars, have got much higher tariffs than 10%.
Yeah, they have, and I think that'll settle down. I mean, everyone's panicking, and the share market, the stock market is all over the place. People just need to calm down. They need to calm down.
But there is some silver lining, because I mean, at the end of the day, there is this theory that well, it's not theory, it's fact. The US has trillions of dollars of bonds, of government debt to refinance over the next 6 months. So, and they want to do it at lower interest rates. So they're hoping that they're kind of pushing the Fed in the direction of lowering interest rates, and that seems to be likely. And whatever the Fed do, we do.
Sure.
So we're going to get lower rates, and that's going to be good for us.
Well, I think that's the best thing. The best outcome for us will be lower interest rates. I mean, they're likely to come down maybe a couple of times this year, 2 or 3 times. I think, at Christmas we were talking about it, Ranjan, weren't we, on one of the shows, and we said, well, we can see 3 or 4 drops this year. We've had, is it 2 drops we've had? I can't remember now.
Yeah, 2 drops.
So far, so I can see we might get more than another 2 that we estimated. certainly. But I mean, this Bank of England are so cautious. They won't drop it 0.5% in one go. It's pathetic.
What do you think their fear is? What are they scared of?
I don't know what they're scared of, but I think the Bank of England, the governor there is very limited. And of course, the problem is every time they say what's going to happen over the next 12 months, 18 months, it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. So their projections are dreadful, absolutely dreadful, as are the governments in the past.
But aren't they caught between a rock and a hard place? Because on one hand, they don't really have much choice but to mirror the Fed. Otherwise, it really affects our currency, doesn't it? If we go out of sync with the Fed. But then they have this 2% inflation target.
Yes.
And all these tariffs are bound to feed into inflation.
Well, the inflation by the end of the year will be 4 or 5%. I predicted that at the start of the year, if you remember.
So that's contradictory.
It's totally contradictory.
No wonder they're cautious.
Inflation is going to go up without question. I mean, it cannot stay at 3% or whatever. There's no way, not with everything they're doing and everything done with the living wage and everything else. NI and all the rest of it. But actually, the question is, if tariffs do bite and it does bring down interest rates, will the building societies and the lending institutions, will they bring their interest rates down? Because some of them, you could argue, have already priced it in a little bit. So when I say priced it in, it means that they've already anticipated a drop. Mm-hmm. So when a drop comes, you don't get any impact from it at all.
That's true.
So do you think that's happened? And do you think interest... I'm asking you the questions.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's have a convo. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. I can ask you some really difficult ones that you can't answer, Ranjan, but I'm not going to embarrass you on camera. I wouldn't do it on camera, but I might do, to be fair. I did try and pop the elevator a couple of times.
I pulled that reform stunt on you.
Yeah, you did.
You did. You owe me one.
I do owe you more than one, don't worry. What was I saying? Yes. Do you think it has been priced in, or do you think if there is a drop in interest rates, base rate, do you think the lenders will react to that? Because certainly the bridges won't react to it. The bridging companies won't.
I'm not sure whether it matters. I mean, look, whether we've had our pudding early or after the main course, does it matter? If they have all anticipated and priced in a rate reduction and given us the benefit of that now, because there's a competitive marketplace among lenders, that's good. And that seems to be what's happened.
Yeah, I'm not seeing interest, I'm not seeing rates coming down particularly. I was with an MD of a bank, I won't say which one, a small bank that we borrow off recently. He did buy me lunch, which was, I'm not surprised the amount of interest we pay. But, he's about, for some commercial lending, with us, he was about 6.5%.
Yes,
and that seems about, what's that, 2 over base, isn't it? Mm-hmm. In the old days, if you got an interest rate, if you were paying 2 over base for anything, that was considered pretty good, wasn't it? In the old days,
Yes.
It was considered pretty good. So maybe we've just got so used to the very cheap rates and then more expensive rates. If you're getting 2 over base, he thought he was being very reasonable to me.
I think there's a difference between, I know there's the commercial lending and there's the base plus, which obviously varies depending on the borrower. But what I was referring to was more the 3 and particularly 5-year fixed rate products for buy-to-letters, because 5-year money has come down a little bit in the money market.
Yeah,
which allows
and that's for anybody listening. If you look to see what the 5-year money's doing, that's a very good benchmark, isn't it? And so on as to what's going to happen. And I think that's a very good point you've made. The 5-year money, if you look to see where that's going, and if that's on a down trajectory, then actually, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. And I think, the tougher things get, of course, in the general economy, will mean that house prices won't go up because of the tariffs. So that's another effect of the tariffs. But it could be helped by the interest rates, I would say. So I see things remaining relatively tough for the year, whether the tariffs really bite or not. It's not going to be easy.
The other thing is that if goods are going to go up in
which
price,
they are, clearly.
What impact is that going to have on developers when we are building out projects?
Well, certainly build costs are not coming down. They're not going to come down. They're still going up, and it's very, very hard to make any money if you're developing property outside expensive areas. Very, very difficult. Even at the moment, I've just bought an office building for £15 a foot freehold.
That's good. Where?
Well, it's unbelievable.
Very good.
I'm not going to say where yet.
What region?
Well, in the Midlands.
Oh, in the Midlands.
In the Midlands.
Oh, right.
And I'm still going to battle.
Where they don't empty the bins?
No, not that far. Oh. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to battle to make decent money out of it. And that's £15 a foot freehold. So it isn't easy. And of course, 70% of materials come from Europe. Building materials come from Europe and beyond. So if Europe is struggling, then those materials are likely to become more expensive for us to buy in the UK.
Yes. But not everything comes from America. Very little comes from America.
No, it comes from Europe. So 70% of building materials that we use in the UK come from Europe. And, you know, that's a problem. If they're struggling in Europe, they're going to whack the prices up, you would assume.
Well, do you think? Because if Europe and China were looking to sell a whole bunch of stuff to America and they impose tariffs, obviously they're going to sell less in America. So there's more stock sitting in Europe and China to offload.
There is,
you can get some bargains.
Maybe there is that, and certainly China will produce kitchens, they'll produce bathroom suites, that's their main, and wrought iron work, a lot of wrought irons, railings and all that sort of stuff. So maybe there will be a benefit there in the tariffs. I'm not so certain about that. I am certain about the interest rates, though. I am certain about that.
Interest rates are likely to hedge down, but the question is how far, because of the inflationary pressures limiting the Bank of England's room for manoeuvre.
You wouldn't want to be Angela Rayner, would you?
You wouldn't want to be Angela Rayner. And of course, you're not predicting much economic growth, are you, for the UK for 2025, 2026?
And I think with all this tariff stuff, everything's so up in the air. Who knows what's happening? One thing I do know is I was talking to someone who worked in Ms. Reeves' department in the Treasury and said she is bloody awful to work for, which was very interesting.
Well,
what do you think to that?
I can imagine. Rachel
no one's ever said that about you, have they? No one's ever said that about me and people I work with and I know. So someone to come out and say that, you've got to be pretty bad.
I think...
pretty bad.
She never answers a question. No, she never seems to have any reflection.
No.
She's never wrong on anything. It's just...
there's another reason for that, which I'm not going there, but there's another reason for that, Ranjan.
But that, of course, means that it's, of course, challenging times for us as UK property investors because doing stuff in a non-growth environment, because you could argue that even if they tell you that growth we've had economic growth of 0.1%, when you do GDP per capita, per head of population, there is no growth at all. It's negative. And the other thing you could argue is that when they talk about house price growth, yes, it's gone up 2% in the last year. But when you inflation adjust,
it's gone down.
It's gone down since 2022. So that means challenging environment, which means you have to buy at £15 a square foot. If
freehold,
you are going to do anything, quite frankly.
Which is mad. I mean, it's mad. If you told me 10 years ago that we'd be buying property at £15 a foot and we'd be struggling to make money at it, you know, we can make some money at it, but I wouldn't be buying it otherwise. But it's tough.
Is it a big office? How many
40-odd thousand square feet.
So the reason I ask, because with those 40,000 square foot type of buildings, of course, it's not...
You've never done one that big, have you?
No, I haven't. I've stayed relatively...
modest. Small.
Small,
Ranjan is the word I'd use.
But anyway, with 40,000 square foot office buildings, it's not just the build costs, it's the decommissioning costs as well.
Yeah, it's everything.
And people don't realise how much that is per square foot.
Totally.
It's huger on those sort of size of buildings. Which is another thing, which is why you have to buy them cheap, and otherwise you're not going to just make anything.
And people, and a lot of people don't understand how cheap these buildings have to be. But the market finally finds a level, doesn't it? And it's found that level now with this commercial stuff. It really has.
Is this tariff stuff a bit of a here today, gone tomorrow kind of argument? Because there's a 90-day suspension on it. Do you think, because why has he suspended everything for 90 days? Well, basically because...
do a deal.
No, the bond market, he had an Elizabeth Truss moment. The bonds markets were going to tank. The yields just went up overnight, and he had no choice.
I think he may not have had a choice, but I think it suited everyone, because 90 days gives you time to negotiate with America and do a deal, and that's what he wants. He's a deal maker. He wants to do a deal with everyone, and I think he has got. There is always some truth in what he says. No, may not be the whole truth, but there's truth in what he says. And at the end of the day, if you've got the deficit that he has and America has with trading around the world, you would want to balance that up, and that's all he's trying to do. Whether he's doing it in the right way or not is another matter, but he's trying to balance it up. I don't blame him. You and I would do the same thing. We might just take a year to do it and talk to a few more people rather than do it the way he's done it. But hey, he's got a lot more money than we've ever had.
That's true.
So there we go.
I mean, I think that the Trump jitters won't affect us that much.
Everyone just needs to calm down.
Calm down a little bit.
Calm down. Use some experience. Calm down. The press and everyone love it. They love it.
But not everyone is that calm. I mean, I have heard anecdotally from some of my estate agent contacts that some, particularly first-time buyers and stuff like that, get a bit twitchy at these sort of times. And this all means that, the seasoned investor can take a little bit of advantage from that buying
absolutely.
opportunity.
That's the other thing with these tariffs that, to finish on really. One of the other thing is, if people are that worried and are jumping out of property, when you consider that shares are far more volatile than property, by the way, because shares are instant, you can sell them straight away, you can't property. But if people are coming out of property because of that, the rest of us can take advantage of it. So that's another advantage. Actually, advantage of tariffs is that property market might go down in the short term a bit, which means we can cash in. And secondly, interest rates.
And one thing there'll never be tariffs on is watching content on this channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified as we push out new content each and every week. See you guys in the next episode.